Today we had the great idea to talk about some of our confessions slash life stories while doing professions.
We are kind of lacking, if you couldn't tell.
On
Pretty sure.
three,
Okay, on 3.
2, 1. You didn't do it, so I was like, wait.
I thought it was gonna be. Wait. 3, 2, 1. Subscribe.
So awkward.
That's the worst thing we've ever done.
For sure. Okay, for our first confession, what is the worst thing you've said slash done as a child?
Oh no. So to begin with, I was an evil child, and I don't condone most of the behaviors I did, but like, this one. No, I was a jackass in this one, but I had this. I had this friend when I was like 5 to 6 years old. Okay, and I was the older kid, so I was able to influence my opinions and my actions on this kid because you're like, oh my god, they're such a role model. And like, I did the typical teasing. I wasn't that mean. It was just like, haha. I don't know what I said. You're a bitch.
So you're a bully. Okay.
I'm not a bully. So like one day, I was like in my bedroom, no adult supervision, cause I was the big kid, right? And then there was a little kid. So I got some scissors, and then I cut like the tiniest bit of my hair. Like you wouldn't even notice it. It's like this tiny snip. And then because, like I said, I was the older, wiser, and more mature big kid. They grabbed the scissors after me after I put them down, and then whoop, like a chunk of their hair was gone. They were about to be bald, and then I was a child, so I was like, "Oh yeah, give yourself a haircut. Let's go! Oh my god, it looks so good." Because I mean, like as a kid, you don't have a much care for appearances.
Yeah.
So like, I was just like, "Don't get us in trouble. Just put the hair in trash." Yeah, because I didn't want to get in trouble. And then they did that. So like, swoop, 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 snip. Like, they were beginning to look like the Grinch's love child. And I was just there, like, watching probably Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Then we got hungry after a bit. And this is when they had a bit of long hair, like, shoulder length. And then now they look like they tried to give themselves a bob cut and failed miserably. So when we asked for food, the adults were like, what the fuck? What happened to you? And then, because I was the innocent, quote-unquote, big kid, I didn't get in ton of trouble. But the mom was mad at her, and she's like, what the fuck happened to your hair? I got some blame, because I was there. But like, you know what? I was smooth. I got out of it. I didn't get in trouble.
After you shaved her bald. You're the Grinch's love child. You're fucked up for that.
I was like,
but it's okay, because you're the older, wiser, more mature big.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. I was good anyway.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's start off simple with my confession. As a child, as you can tell, I say stuff, okay? But as a child, I said a lot more stuff. And I was a lot angrier as a child, okay? And also, as an angry child, I also did not have a filter. So you can guess how bad that went. As you'll see with this story. So, I kind of just spoke whatever came to my mind, whether that be good or bad, or really bad, like it usually was. And basically, for this story, this was around the 5th grade, and my friend's brother was the other person in the story, and he was a year younger than us. And basically, Pokemon cards were like, they were all the rage. It was like the equivalent of dads and fishing, okay? Whoever had the best, fish, well, in this case, card, like, everybody worshipped them, okay? Yeah. They were the coolest. They were the hot shot. They were the whatever, man. Obviously, the shinier the card, the better. That's our logic, okay? Nobody really knows how to use Pokemon.
EX or shiny. That's all that mattered.
Exactly. And so, you know, we're gonna call my friend's brother a rat because he was a rat in this story. You'll see. And I went to go trade for his Leafeon, and you know it was shiny, so I really, you know, I needed that. I needed it from him. I would have died without it. And so basically, my trade with him was, you know, an Eevee plus a Vaporeon. It wasn't shiny, but you know people have like a preference towards a Pokemon type, and he liked water, so I was like, works for me. He accepted it, but then, you know, after 5 minutes of having it, I guess you know he had an attachment to it, just like the show.
Just had a revelation.
And yeah, and he agreed, and like before he agreed to the trade, he said no trade backs. He instilled the rule of this trade, and then he wanted it back. So basically, then, as you know, I didn't have a filter, and obviously I didn't know curse words at this point, so, you know, I would have said something worse.
Oh.
So accidentally, you know, I got really mad, and then, I don't know why this was the first thing that popped in my head, but I said big head, small brain, and then he started crying all over, and like, okay, and all the teachers swarmed him. And there was like a whole group of kids all around us. He was crying, and then, you know, Pokemon got banned. So yeah, all because of this little bozo.
Yeah, because of this little great story.
I hate that rat. So real quick confession. Recently, I don't know if y'all realized, but I kinda deleted my Discord account. But you see, it was to run away from them. Now, who is them? If you guessed it. Yep, it's Eli and Squiz. Now you see, Elijah Thrower and Hudson Cozy are horrendous people, and they had a lot of red flags that honestly I chose to ignore at first because I thought they could change, and they actually did change, but they got worse. And I wasn't originally going to call them out, but now that they're involving other people we used to know / making this public in other Discords and whatnot, you know, it's time to show y'all just how red these red beans are. Let's start off small. Hudson and Eli consistently just ignored or disregarded messages / plans I made in general. And see, at first, you know, ignoring messages was one thing, I get it. You can be busy from time to time, because I was busy from time to time too. But it got a lot worse to the point where they would just completely ditch us. Mind you, you know, some of these events that we planned together took a lot of time to initiate, you know, and work around all of our schedules. And then, you know, this became months of little to no effort from their side to initiate anything. And then, you know, when I got frustrated that they didn't value my time or effort, they'd pin me as the bad guy when I tried to do the same thing as they did. You know, not respond to messages, whatnot. You know, let's go over the next red flag of theirs, which is the promises that they said they would keep, but never did. You know, I'll admit that I'm in the wrong for letting some of these things slide so many times because I thought they could change. So, you know, they're extremely homophobic. You know, they say the F slur constantly, they use gay as a joke, and, you know, they just straight up deny it.
I am a changed man. I try to refrain from using those slurs or anything like that. I have been for the past few months, and like every time something like that would pop in my head, I kind of get like disgusted now. Like I feel uncomfortable myself whenever I feel like I'm about to say it. Sometimes. Like, and then I refrain from it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna say that. Alright, deadass. When was the last time I said the F slur?
Literally the last call we were in.
Pretty recent.
The last call we were in, you used that word like 5 times at least.
Okay, no, that's a lie. I did not say it today.
You did.
I swear to God.
It was not
You don't
correct.
remember saying it, but I do.
I think it's just like really ingrained in your vocabulary, so like you don't even realize you're saying it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, besides the transphobic comments they made about pronouns, etc., they posted videos and constantly laughed at the military tearing down trans flags. Racism-wise, they've admitted that it's just funny in general, and, you know, just a quick example of how bad it got. It even made Eli uncomfortable, not saying a lot. So here's a quick thing that Hudson posted. Also, in general, here's just a list of things they've constantly said in call to us and other people. Just made us uncomfortable and just bad in general. I could talk a lot more about this, but you know, this isn't an exposing video, so let's move on. So,
Okay.
you know, this is our next confession about how Cuzzer found out Santa wasn't real and how I became a super villain origin story, okay, about Santa. But you go first, Cuzzer.
Mine's actually just rather short and depressing, cause like my parents and I immigrated when I was young, so the whole like stigma, I guess, and culture around Christmas, Easter, you know, the Western cultures was not something that was common at all where we came from.
Yeah.
So it was like it wasn't even near Christmas, I think, but it was just a normal day of like 8-year-old me. When my parents just like told me up front, Santa wasn't real, and it was fake. Everything was fake. Santa's bullshit. So, I mean, I wasn't that devastated because at this point I've gone through like 2 Christmases with Santa, quote unquote. So it wasn't that bad. And I wasn't even a kid that would be like, oh my god, oh my god, Santa, oh my god, Santa. I wasn't that kid. Like like a 8-year-old and a 7-year-old, I can't really describe how fast the color drained out of their face. So like, I mean, if you really believe something and you're just told it's not real, you're gonna go up to your mommy. You can't complain, right? So they went to their mom, who was my babysitter, and asked, they're like, is Santa real or not? Is Santa real? Is Santa real? My mom was there at that time, and then they both had to have a talk, because they were friends, and they had to have a stern talk about Santa and the importance of Santa. And she tried telling me, like, it was real, because of, like, St. Nicholas. Like, St. Nicholas was real,
Yeah.
you know that, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, no, it's not. Yeah, that's mine. It wasn't a villain origin story.
Well, yours was very kind, very wholesome. Mine, however, you know, I have a villain origin story for why I hate Christmas. Okay, so this occurred when I was the ripe old age of 8 years old. You know, kind of young if you ask me, but I digress. Anyways, my awakening of the truth. The truth that dear old Santa was a fraud was caused by me. Yeah, you know, I kind of spoiled it for myself because of curiosity. You'll see what I mean later. Oh wait, let me set the scene. Okay, you know, it's a nice holiday. It's a nice Christmas. You know, snow is falling, wind is blowing, Rudolph is flying. Okay. And so as Christmas was approaching, you know, I was really into Beyblades at the time. Now my boy Pegasus, if you don't know who Pegasus is, he's the blue one. He came out with a giant version of himself. Because normally Beyblades are like the size of like a normal top, like a wooden top. And you know, I was like hinting, more like begging really, for my parents to get me that over a month. And you know, my parents and I went to the store to buy my cousin a Christmas present. And then they bought the exact Pegasus I wanted. Now, you know, obviously as an 8-year-old, you're pretty stupid. You know, everybody's stupid as an 8-year-old, let's be honest here. So I didn't really recognize my parents plotting immediately. And so fast forward to Christmas night, I was determined to find out who Santa really was. You know, was there reindeer? Was Rudolph even real? You know, I had to know. And so I had this great idea to sneak out of my bed at around 12 a.m. and then I slept under the couch of the sofa next to the Christmas tree. You know, I heard creaking. You know, it was pitch black. Honestly, I was scared I was gonna get kidnapped in my own home. That's how scary it was. I hated the dark.
Well, you're gonna get kidnapped by Santa himself.
Exactly. But then, there I saw it. Or should I say, him. My dad. Placing my gift down at the Christmas tree. And you know, I physically gasped. My eyes were bloodshot in confusion and anger. Because you know, damn, like, really? My whole life was a lie? You know, Rudolph doesn't even have a red nose? Like, I can't believe it. You know, I was having a mental breakdown right there at 8 years old. And you know, I was really tired, so I climbed back up into bed, and after, you know, an hour of painfully watching my childhood hero disintegrate into dust, I fell asleep. Then, you know, I woke up, and instead of, you know, as an 8-year-old, you know, when you see Christmas gifts, you usually just like sprint, you know, sometimes knocking into the tree at times, at least in my case. But instead, you know, I walked to the presents instead of sprinting like a happy child would. And I gave probably one of the most forced smiles after seeing that the gift they bought was indeed the one they said was for my cousin. They had the audacity to lie straight to my face. Either way, yeah, Christmas sucks, but you know, I get money now, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys want more horrible stories from us, let us know. Yeah, because we kind of need profession skills. And this is easy to do, I think, after editing it, hopefully.
Yeah.